It's okay if you feel negative about life here in Italy. Totally okay. There, I've said it. I've addressed the elephant in the room, because you know what? There is a lot of toxic positivity that you can find on the internet when it comes to life here in Italy, to the point where if you have something even remotely negative to say about this country, you are usually guilt tripped or shamed into silence. And I kind of want to normalize this, because it is normal that you can sometimes feel negative about life here, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. Now, this video was actually inspired by something that I saw on social media over the weekend from a fellow content creator who I actually follow, and I really like her work. But this particular reel just opened up a point of conversation between the two of us about the significance behind it, because she had posted a reel that said, if people have something negative to say about Palermo, run away from them. And it was interesting. I mean, eventually I understood that her real message was aimed at tourists and people who visit a country and don't really give it a chance before they start criticizing it to other people. I get it. But it also made me kind of question the fact that in society, we are either team positive or team negative. You can never really be somewhere in the middle. But I think that when you live somewhere for a long period of time, it's only natural that you are going to see that country in all of its colours, and you are going to be somewhere in the middle. There are going to be days where you love living in that country, and there are going to be days where you absolutely hate it. And it's exactly how I feel about life here in Italy. If you look at all of the content that I've produced on this channel over the course of 4 years, it is not too positive and it is not too negative. It doesn't lean too heavily into one of those aspects. It really sits somewhere in the middle. I'm very realistic about life here, and so as such, there are positive videos, there are also negative videos, and there are what I would call neutral videos, where I just kind of show you aspects of life here. This is reality, and yet I see so many people almost guilt tripped into staying silent if they have something negative to say about living here. Now, this can come in many different forms. It can come from people who are Italian themselves. It's really ironic, actually. This is what I want to say. If you are from within Italy, it's okay if you criticize this country. I know this because I have sat around the table of many a conversation between Italians, and all they do is tear apart their country, bureaucracy, politics, whatever it may be. There is a lot of negative conversation. However, if I were to say something negative about Italy, which sometimes I do on this channel, Italian people get very defensive about their country, and all of a sudden they're very patriotic, and nobody from outside of Italy can say something bad about it. But it's strange, because you see, I'm from London, as you all know by now, and I can say, criticise London, please do, because as I've said in many other videos, it's not a perfect city. I love it on the one hand, but guess what? I don't live there anymore. So what does that tell you? There's also negative aspects to it. So, you know, it's this. And I would say that I think we need to normalise the fact that when you live in a country, you are going to feel negative about it sometimes, but the important thing is you don't sit in that negativity and dwell in it for too long. I really believe that if you are constantly feeling negative about living in Italy, maybe this really isn't the country for you. Like, everything is an indicator. If you're really struggling to find something positive to say about living here, or to find something positive to say about your life in Italy, then there's absolutely no shame in admitting that maybe this isn't the country for you. Like, I really don't believe Italy is the country for everyone. There are so many nuances and aspects of life here that don't sit well with people. You know, like, some people don't like to deal with archaic systems and bureaucracy. Some people don't like to deal with a slower pace of life. Some people don't like to deal with the fact that Italy is so divided as a country. Like, you know, no two regions are the same, and people kind of had these divisions amongst different cities and parts of Italy. Like, it's super complicated to live here, and some people just don't want that stress. So as much as this is a very beautiful holiday destination, it isn't necessarily the perfect place for you to base yourself for the rest of your life. So that's something you've got to consider. And if you are constantly feeling negative about life here, then I would say that that's a bit of a red flag, and maybe you need to reconsider your decision. But if you have waves of negativity, you know, you go through periods of really loving this country, and then you go through periods of kind of feeling frustrated, whatever it may be, totally normal. You know, like, there's nothing worse than if you are constantly being told, well, Italy's beautiful, you're so lucky to live there. Like, you know, oh my goodness, it's an amazing country, don't criticize it. When you are dealing with bureaucracy delays or things not working as they should, like, it really doesn't sit well when you're hearing those kinds of things and you're in that kind of situation. And so I want to just reinforce today the message that I really don't believe we need to compartmentalize people into two boxes, team positive and team negative. You can very much sit somewhere firmly in the middle. And actually, I really believe that when you integrate yourself fully into life somewhere, you will be somewhere in the middle. I don't really believe that it's possible for somebody to be 100% positive 100% of the time. If that person is that way, I usually think there are a lot of emotions or feelings that they're suppressing. They're not acknowledging and they're trying to keep up this toxic positivity. But let me tell you, those feelings will resurface and bubble up at some point in the future. Like it only takes a little something to trigger it. And then those feelings that they've been suppressing for maybe months or years are going to end up resurfacing. Like, we are meant to experience different emotions as humans. We are not wired to just feel the same thing every single day without any kind of variation. And so I always believe that if you feel negative about something, it teaches you something. Maybe there's more that you can do to improve your situation or to learn. Or maybe there is something better that you can do, like to improve yourself in this way. And so I don't think necessarily that feeling negative is such a bad thing, but I think it all depends how you frame it. And I remember reading about this concept in a fantastic book, and I can't remember what it is. If you know the book, comment below and tell me. But essentially, it's about the frame that you put around a situation. So you could have the most beautiful, beautiful life, but if you frame it in a way that's very negative, you diminish the beauty of what's contained within the frame. And it's the same with what I'm saying here. Like, it's all in how you frame it. If you have those problems, if you can frame them in a way that they are lessons and they are teaching you something and it's helping you to grow, you actually have a much better experience. And that's the way that I kind of want you to feel about those days where you might not be so happy about living in Italy, even though everybody wants to tell you that you're absolutely crazy and that you just do not appreciate this country. Let me tell you, I actually think you've integrated when you feel like that, because let me tell you, there is not one person who lives in Italy that is 100% happy about this country 100% of the time. And if they say that they are, I really believe that they're lying to you, because there are so many things in Italy that don't work properly or are inefficient or frustrate people and stress people out. It's kind of unrealistic to expect people to always be happy living here. In the same way, it's unrealistic to expect people to feel that in any country around the world. Not to mention the fact that maybe you're going to have your own personal problems that you go through living in this country, which kind of tarnish your experience here as well. So there's so much to unpack with this, but I wanted to say that I actually think being negative about Italy should be normalised more. Not 100% negative 100% of the time, absolutely not. But to have waves of negativity is completely normal. And so if you decide to move here and you start to struggle, please don't feel the shame of speaking up about how you're feeling, because it's one of the most important things. What we don't realize is that when we suppress those feelings, we actually end up damaging our mental health more than we can really understand, because we are not allowing ourselves to process those very natural human emotions that we have. And instead, we're trying to almost become robotic in the way that we live our lives. And that's not how we're meant to live as humans. So I hope that this video can help you. If you are having a bit of a down moment here in Italy, totally normal, but take from that moment what you can. What are the lessons? What are the takeaways? How can you do things differently next time? That's the way that you need to process it. And also look at your life on a whole. Look at all the beautiful aspects of living here, because there are so many. And that's what I mean about how, like, if somebody has one negative thing to say, they are instantly criticized. Yet, if you look at the person's comments and life on a whole, generally speaking, it is a bit of a balance. So the next time you're feeling a little bit meh about life here, acknowledge it, sit with it, try to understand why, and then try to take away what you can from it. And if you are thinking of moving to Italy and you are a little bit worried that you're going to have some days here that don't make you feel so happy, then you need to check out my mindset course, which I'm going to link up here, which gets you Italy ready from the inside out. And we talk about all of those aspects to help prepare you for what life can be like here. If you've enjoyed this video, I think this is the one that you should watch next, and I will see you in the next video.